Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As you can about title today's video, we have the top 10 takeovers in NBA 2K25. More specifically, we have the best one for each archetype. So you can see we have Flash or Kryptonite, Glass Gunner, Slice, 3&D, Make It Rain, a lot of glass related ones that we just kind of list off, the Commander, Barbecue Chicken. So these are the ones that we're actually talking about, but as you can see in parentheses, we have them correlated with what playstyle that they would be more, in sync with. So you can see the playstyles that we have addressed are for 5-out / ISO point guards, pick and roll point guards, shooting guards / spot ups, lock, power forward, inside and outside center, and a post score as well. So all of these are correlated with, different takeovers that I would really advise for you to go for when making a build, or to see if you have on your current build already as well, and some fallback options that we have to talk about as well. So anyway, we will be not necessarily ranking them as like number 1 versus number 5, number 10, stuff like that, but what I am doing is just giving you the best suggestion for each type of build that you have. Alright, so let's get straight into this. I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on noties, all good stuff, and like always, try to swim to 2,000 likes. So you can see we're in the My Player Builder with it. This is going to be just an easy preview to show you what rating requirements you need. You can see it in the middle right of your screen with like this one, for instance, with Flash being 85 ball handle, 75 speed, and 85 speed with ball. You can see how you progressively get the boost at each level, and you can also see what the takeover ability is correlated with at the bottom right. So really easy way to just describe all of these takeovers and go through it just one by one of the best per position that we're talking about. And in this case, Flash is for the 5-out PGs, in my opinion. You can see speed with ball, and ball handle. It is a very nice set of attributes that are being upgraded. However, I will say Kryptonite, probably the better version of it. So you sub out the ball handle for driving dunk, and everything else is exactly the same. You can see, driving dunk, speed with ball, and speed are the 3 things getting boosted. And in this case, you need 80 speed, 85 speed with ball, and 85 driving dunk. Arguably a little bit easier to attain than Flash. It's not really like either of them are too hard though if it's correlated with your playstyle of being a 5-out PG. And in this case, you get the takeover ability Poster Machine. Flash gets Blur, which is more so like easy blow-bys. I'm not here to vouch for it though. I think it's a little too situational for my liking. Not a huge fan of it. Kryptonite with Poster Machine, it's at least decent as far as the takeover ability, but great attributes being buffed. I mean, speed with ball, speed, and driving dunk, all of these are very valuable for 5-out PG, and just in general if you wanted to be more of a slasher with the ball in your hand. So I'm a big fan of that for the 5-out point guards. As far as the non-5-out PGs, we have Make It Rain as my preferred takeover to be suggesting to you guys. So for those of you out here who are just running like a true blue point guard, right? I'm talking like with the pick and rolls, the screens, stuff like that. You're 3 hunting, you're coming off the screens and looking for stuff like that. This is a great, easy to afford takeover. All you need is 70 speed, 80 3-pointer, and 80 mid-range. You can even vouch for this on stretch bigs. I mean, you can easily afford this on, the stretch like Tanner has that we play 2s with, and he actually runs this himself as well. And there are takeovers that are well worth running on 2s like Midi Maestro, but it's possible that if you run a build that has 94, maybe even 99 mid-range, it's not necessarily worth running takeovers that are just going to try and buff that when you have 99 already. And I don't know if it's for a fact or not. I don't know if it's been tested whether the takeovers are pushing you past 99, but a lot of times it literally will show you that even though you're getting a plus 15 to the rating, if you have it as like 94, it's showing that once you hit that +5, anything past that is already max 99. And you've seen that if you have loaded it up at all yourself. So anyway, point being, Make It Rain obviously giving you a lot more attributes than just mid-range. And in this case, giving you midi, 3, and speed. Really good. Also, marksman, great takeover ability as far as just it helps you shoot standstill shots. And it's really easy to not lose this because you're not going to force it to really have to be used all the time. It's just a threat of the fact that you can shoot better standing still. So you don't have to force the shots or anything like that. Poster Machine, stuff like that with Kryptonite, I've been unfortunate, because you have to kind of force the meter dunks and stuff like that to make the takeover worth it. So it's a little bit tough, to vouch for, because it's a lot easier to lose the take because, when you perform poorly or do like things that make your teammate grade go down and stuff like that, it's going to be making you lose takeover as well. So anyway, point being, Make It Rain, really good take as far as like for the point guards out there of the world, that, and even for shooting guards for that matter too. I would like to think this is my favorite one to run for a 2-guard that's playing like comp pro-am stuff or even rec or anything like that. Speed, 3-point, very valuable, and mid-range as well. Actually a little bit more valuable than you would think, especially when it's correlated with just the ratings boost. All right, so now for alternate options as far as shooting guards, as well as if you wanted to just use this as a lockdown, 3&D, really good one as well. Now here's the deal with 3&D. You have to be very mindful of this because you do need 80 3-pointer to be able to achieve this. A lot of lock builds, if you max out their wingspan, it won't get 80 3-pointers. So you may miss out on this as a lock, and I'll try and have an alternative option at the end of the video for you if you're a lock who happens to be looking for a takeover to run. But as far as what actually boosts your three-pointer and defensive attributes, this is a great option. I mean, Perimdi, agility, and three-pointer, really good. And again, it's the marksman takeover ability. So again, as a lock, you're easily going to be achieving 70 agility and 80 Perimdi. However, you got to make sure you achieve that 80 3-point if you want this takeover right here as well. So obviously, for the shooting guards out there, this is probably the easiest takeover in the world to be able to get. I'm very sure that you have higher than 80 3-point, and I would sure hope if you're playing the 2 in Comp Pro-Am or even as a rec build, you have more than 80 Perimdi. So hopefully that's the case, and obviously agility comes naturally as well. So 3D, very good value one. You can get it really easy on a lot of different builds, and just a great takeover in terms of the ratings that it boosts and the takeover ability as well. Also, in case you guys didn't know, I'm pairing with NBA 2K Labs again this year. So you can use my code Laker at checkout for 20% off of any subscription link that you decide to go for. Obviously, what you're going to find on here is going to be really useful information that we're showing all across the whole screen right now, but mainly to be talked about is obviously the jump shot data. So the guys are cool enough to let me show you the information from the 2K24 premium jumper data. If you want the access to the 25 year, you'd obviously have to subscribe to their premium and, you know, using my code as well if you would like. But as you can see, like, we have them sorted by speed right here. You can sort by every one of these different individual categories right here between the fastest millisecond jump shots. You can sort that by your individual height between the guards, wings, and bigs. You can sort by speed, green window, the early, middle, and late end of the green window as well, and then the total accumulation of all of that. And I mean, that's how I came to the conclusion that Terrence Mann was a really good base last year, combining all that information. Crazy stuff. So again, to be able to find something like this in 25, you would be able to just sign up for the premium. So what you're going to do when you're ready to sign up, you would just come over here and click register with whatever length of subscription you'd like to go for. After you hit register, it'll ask you to put in a promo code. You just put in Laker when you hit apply coupon right here, and boom, you're looking good. With code Laker, you're going to get 20% off your subscription. If you guys would like to help me out, I get a percentage based off your initial purchase only. So a recurring bill, like if you get a 1 month subscription, I only get the 1 month that you sign up for initially, and then anything past that I don't. So if you do plan to go for like a 3 or a 6 or even a year-long subscription, feel free to just, you know, do that if you want to support me. But I understand not everybody wants to go for that, so it's all good if you don't. Anyway, appreciate you guys for watching. Let's get back to the video. And you know what, I was going to save it for later in the video, but might as well just show this. An alternative option for locks, if you happen to be someone that doesn't exactly have a high enough 3-point, this could be a really good option for you. So Perimdi, strength, and agility is all you need to be able to unlock nuisance, and as you can see, it's 85, 75, 75. Very achievable. I would like to think most locks of you out there probably have 75 strength, definitely have 85 Perimdi, and definitely 75 agility. So what this is going to be buffing is your Perimdi and strength in the first levels, and then you can see you can progressively get it with the agility buffs as well, all the way to +7 on level 5. And the Vice ability, I haven't really tested this, to be fair, so I'm not going to speak too much on it, but pretty much, as you can see, it's an additional clamps, essentially. So great for on-ball defenders out there. Obviously, if you're an off-ball defender more often than not, like a 2-guard, hopefully 3D works out for you. But for those of you out there with a pure lock where you're chasing the point guard, this is a really good takeover for you. So just wanted to give you that alternative option. As far as something that maybe fits more of the undersized bigs, let's talk about this. So I'm going through positionally, right? We've already seen that we've talked about the 5-out PGs, the non-5-out PGs where it's more traditional, the shooting guards, the lock options, and stuff like that. Now I want to go to the undersized bigs. We'll get back to the power forward right after this, but I just want to talk about how good Slice is for the undersized bigs of the world who are more invested into the driving dunk and, as you can see, speed and agility. So this, in case anybody's been wondering what I run for takeover on my 6'8", 6'9" type builds and stuff like that are true inside bigs that are undersized. So in some cases I'm guarding ball, in other cases I'm guarding back end where I'm guarding the other team's center. Speed, agility, both being upgraded in this is super big as far as that you're a two-way player and it works good for offense and defense, and driving dunk in general. A good thing for me to be buffed on when I'm an inside big, and a lot of lob catching and stuff like that, and just in general like getting hit on the pick and rolls correlates with my driving dunk ability. So Slice, very easy to achieve as well. The problem with this take is that for the taller bigs, and this is why I say it's more of an undersized thing, is that you need 70 agility. That can be very tough to get on builds that are taller than 6'10", essentially. Like if we go through the builder real quick, I'll show you guys a 6'11". Even if you minimize the weight on these, it's very tough to actually achieve because you got to go unrealistically low on the agility. You know, if you're trying to get like the brick wall, it's like barely achievable at 6'11" if you wanted to go with, let's say, something that is lower on the wingspan, so as a popper. But if you go max wing, it's going to be really tough. I mean, to be able to get that, you know, you're probably going to have to settle for like the bronze brick wall and stuff like that to be able to get the 70 agility while having like a threshold of brick wall. So that's why I say it's tough. For 6'10s though, definitely achievable. You know, you could come out here with like, let's say you could even get this with 91 strength. So you could be able to go with a max wing 6'10 and have 70 agility still, that would be fire. And I really have been considering maybe making a 6'10 as a center build, but it's tough. I don't know. Footers are just so good, so it's been a little bit hard to, you know, reasonably make one like that. Anyway, for power forwards out there, you could absolutely go for the 3 and D if you would like as well. So to come back to this is still a good power forward takeover, you know, with the prim D, 3-pointer, and agility and stuff like that. Agility really good for the fact that you're moving around with your LT held a ton as a power forward who's playing like back end guarding other centers. And obviously, it doesn't hurt to buff your 3-pointer when you're a spot up as well. So this is still a good takeover. However, what I do want to recommend is the commander. So this right here is going to be buffing your interior D, block, and defensive rebound. The reason I say this is valuable is the fact that it doesn't buff your offensive rebound. So it's not a wasted attribute point, because a lot of 4s out there, you're a spot up on offense while also being the guy who really needs to play defensive rebounds on Pro-Am and stuff like that. If you want to do it more as like a rec build and stuff like that too, it's still very respectable, you know, to buff your interior D, block, and D board, plenty fine. But the takeover ability Rim Guardian, haven't seen it in action too much, but it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just an extra rim protector badge, essentially, and I'm sure it's very hard to deal with. I would have to assume it's a slasher and a post score and stuff like that, but yeah, the buffs, interior, block, D-board. I would like to think this is a really good one for the 4s, so I just wanted to recommend this as well. So anyway, let's get into the glass cleaner takeovers and stuff like that, but first and foremost, I want to talk about for poppers, because for inside bigs, we have a ton of different options, but for the outside bigs, this is a very obvious one, in my opinion, which is Glass Gunner. I was hovering over Glass Warrior. That'll be later in the video. But for Glass Gunner, here's the thing that you really need to be on the lookout for as well. You need a 75 3-point to be able to get this, and then either of the 2 rebound ratings to be 85 plus. So for those of you out there who are considering making a popper build, as you can see, in a lot of cases, when you max out the wingspan at 7 foot and above, you're going to be looking at a 74 3-pointer pretty much every single time. So to go to like a 7-1 max wing, 74. 7-2 max wing, 74. 7-3, if you happen to be that far, max wing, 73. So point being, on a lot of these different builds, you want to go down 1 tick, or in a 7-3's case, down 2 ticks on the wingspan. But as you can see, 7-2 with 1 tick down in the wing, 75-3. 7-1 with 1 tick down in the wingspan, 75-3. 7 foot with 1 tick down, you get 76. So long story short, for those of you out there who are considering making a popper build and you want Glass Gunner, because it's a great takeover. I mean, boosting your 3-point O board and D board all the way, and the fact that for some of these glass related takeovers, the ones that have rebounding included, you can see you get +8 at level 5, which is crazy to get +8 3-pointer at level 5 as a 7-foot big. I mean, that's putting you from a 75-3 all the way to an 83 at level 5, which is a really big deal for that matter. So anyway, and you get Marksman Takeover again. Once again, it's just a great option for popper bigs out there for sure. So let's go over all of the inside big related ones. This is going to be a long list, so stick with me, fellas. So we have Glass Warrior. It's essentially, you're looking at the ones that are giving you the offensive and defensive rebound buffs and your choice of things as well. So with Glass Warrior, this is pretty much up to your choice between that and Paint Dominance. So let me go back and forth between these real quick just to give you guys a nice little explanation on it. So you can see they're the exact same ratings. If we go over to Paint Dominance as well, it's going to be buffing your offensive rebound, defensive rebound, and block. However, Paint Dominance is going to give you See the Future takeover, and it changes which ones you get level 1 take kind of progression to. So you can see though, again, O board, block, D board. And then in this case, I actually haven't checked this, but the requirements for this would be 80 block and 85 on the rebounds. Let's go back to Glass Warrior, and that is 85 block with 80 on the rebounds. So they're kind of flipped. Glass Warrior, you need at least an 85 block, which some builds might not actually achieve. I've been recommending 84 block as a threshold that you get Paint Patroller for, but not 85, so I haven't really been talking about that much. So the only builds that I really have the ability to run this takeover on would be, for instance, ones that I went 88 block to be able to get the High Flying Denier on gold. So that is something that you do need to be on the lookout for if you're making a build specifically for this. However, I don't think Rim Guardian's a better takeover anyway than, let's say, See the Future. I made a video recently on See the Future. This is an absolutely great takeover. In my opinion, the best one in the game. I mean, it's just so good. It's visibly good. You can't even speculate. You can't even make theories of whether it's good or not. It just pops up where the ball's going to go on rebound instantly as the shot's released. It's so good. Gotta be the best takeover ability in the game. So that's why we're talking about a lot of different options for the bigs out here, because I'm just recommending a lot of different options that have the See the Future ability. So for instance, physicality. You can see this one is just subbing for the, let's say, block rating for the strength rating instead. So you're getting offensive rebound and defensive rebound, but in this case, you're getting strength instead. Now, some of them, you can see, let's say physicality, are only giving a +7 at level 5 take, whereas in some cases, you're getting a +8 on level 5 take with paint dominance. So you are technically able to get one more offensive and defensive rebound on paint dominance compared to physicality. But to be fair, the only big difference is pretty much level 5. If you look at all of the stuff, like for instance with paint dominance and physicality, they're both getting +2 on the offensive rebound and defensive rebound level 1. They're both getting +3 on the rebound for level 2. They're both getting +4 on the rebound for level 3. It's like the same exact thing pretty much the whole way through on the rebound ratings. It's just that at level 5 they get different ratings and it's only a +1. So it's really not that big a deal. I would just go with whatever you would want as far as the options that relates to. But we also have a couple other options as well. So let's go over to horse, for instance. So this take is giving you vertical while also getting offensive and defensive rebound. This is the one that I run myself because I do believe in vertical helping your rebounding. And it's also very easy to achieve. 70 vert with an 85 on the offensive or defensive rebound. Really, really easy. Now, this is what I recommend for people out there that have a build that's, for instance, maybe closer to the maximum rebound. So let's say, like, if you have a build that has like a 96 offensive rebound or something like that, let's say you actually even just have the 81 defensive rebound. We'll just get the vert just to show the actual like takeover popping up. But point being, you only have 3 rebound that could be buffed when it comes to a build like this. So by level 2, you're already getting max offensive rebound. Anything past that is just your defensive rebound and your vertical. So that's why I recommend this for builds out there that have like a 96 on the rebound rating already. But if you are on a build, let's say for instance, that is maybe along the lines of like a 92 offensive rebound while having like lower ratings as well on the defensive, whatever it may be, as long as you have a maximum of like 92, I would recommend Board Beast is actually a really good option as well. So out the gate, level 1, you get +4 O board, +4 D board. That is a really good buff already. And the fact that at level 5, you get +12 on offensive and defensive rebound, that's a combination of 24 total rebound ratings. And again, if you have a lower rating on one of these two, by level 5 you're getting +12 defensive rebound. That's putting you all the way to like 92 on the D board and clearly easily affording you 99 offensive rebound by even level 3. So yeah, that's pretty much all of the glass takeovers. Again, just to reiterate this one more time, Board Beast for builds that have lower rebound ratings. You have things like Glass Warrior and stuff like that if you wanted the rim take, and then Horse if you wanted the vertical boost. Like I said as well, down here we have the paint dominance, and that was for the block and offensive rebound, defensive rebound if you wanted to see the future ability instead of Glass Warrior, and then physicality if you wanted the strength instead of, let's say, vertical or block or anything like that. So a lot of great glass cleaning takeovers where you're seeing like see the future as the ability pop up. So that's just, you know, some really good options as far as that goes. But anyway, last one that we have right here, we have 2 post-scoring takeovers. So this is going to be barbecue chicken and post conductor. Since we're already down here, I'll just go to the post conductor. This is going to be for close shot, pass act, and post control. However, you can see you do need a good pass act to afford this of at least 85. And the reason I say this is a good takeover, if you ask me, for post scores is in this game, I've been there before already when I was running 2s with 2 builds that had only like 70-ish interior defense. When neither of us 2 builds on 2s could guard the post score on our own or even viably do it at all and like guard a drop step for anything, we would just straight double the post score and force his spot up to shoot the ball. If you're playing the respectable way. If you're playing the non-respectable way, you're putting a block, like a post fading dude from 2 feet away and then the other person's crashing glass. Obviously, you don't care about this takeover at all because you're not passing the ball. But for those of you out there that are playing like with a spot up or something like that, again, close shot, pass act, post control, getting some good buffs, and you get the takeover ability Dishmaster, which is pretty much just an additional dimer with also like good accuracy on the passes as well. Also haven't seen this one in action, to be fair, so take that with a grain of salt. But besides that, if you wanted something that's truly just about scoring, we have the barbecue chicken. Now I will say though, it's not buffing mid-range or anything like that, it's just buffing close shot, post control, and strength. But it does get deep post bag, which is a crazy takeover as far as the, drop steps and the post fades and stuff like that as well. I mean, it's just probably the toughest takeover to stop offensively. I think See the Future is definitely toxic as far as being on the court as well. But either way, deep post bag, really good. You can see the close shot, post control, and strength buffs that you get. Also a good idea in my opinion if you're trying to be someone that's just backing people down and going up with the, drop steps, mashes, and stuff like that. You could argue for something with standing dunk. Like I, for instance, on the ones court was actually running elevate because I had a build with 90 standing dunk. And the way I was getting the buckets on my post score is just straight standing dunks after the drop steps. And I think to be able to get into the dunks was a really good way to go at the people that had high block and interior defense ratings, because they were making me miss the underneath the basket, like, you know, close shots really easy and stuff. So for me to have more standing dunk was really valuable, and to be able to get a +7 by level 2 already and a +9 at level 3 was really good. And on ones, you don't get your takeover all the way up very often, so to get to like level 3 is already, you know, pretty good for that matter. So yeah, you could argue elevate if you were playing ones court or something like that, but for the most part, nothing else I'd really recommend. I think Xanos was pretty good as well, where it's, as you can see, driving dunk, standing dunk, and then also close shot. So if you wanted something that had to do with driving dunk, you could as well. I was running like the Stilt, for instance, as well, where it was buffing my interior D, standing dunk, and block, while having Rim Guardian as the takeover ability. But either way, point being, I just wanted to give a couple of options, but this is also a little bit tough to afford on most builds because of the interior defense requirement. But anyway, let's come back to this screen one more time just to recap everything. As far as all the playstyles that we correlated to, this was for the post scorers. We had the commander for power forwards. You could argue the 3 and D for power forwards as well. Make It Rain for point guards and shooting guards, really good valuable option. For the other guards as well, we still had Flash or Kryptonite. And then, you know, already mentioned the 3 and D Make It Rain for the 2 guards, PGs, whatever the case may be. All the glass related ones we already mentioned quite a few times, but if you still wanted the reiteration of it, you can see Paint Dominance or Glass, you know, Glass Warrior. We got the Glass Gunner for the poppers as well at the top right here. Slice for the undersized inside bigs, or just in general if you are able to afford it with the agility while still playing as a center. And in some cases, Slice is actually valuable even as a lockdown. Speed and agility together is a really good combo that you can't even get on other lockdown related things. You get a lot of agility prim D, a lot of agility strength combos, but speed and agility is very Slice restrictive. I think it's actually the only one, and just to get speed in general on a takeover is really valuable, and that's why we have Make It Rain and Slice both on the video. And I think that's, well, technically, I think Flash and Kryptonite both buff your speed and speed with ball, so that's why it's also valuable as a point guard. But yeah, overall, just wanted to give you guys a nice little list of takeovers that you could look for on your build currently, or if you're planning to make any builds in the future, to be on the lookout for a lot of these rating requirements that are associated with it. But anyway, that's all video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub, if you're new, turn on noties, all good stuff, and like always, try to swim 2,000 likes. And if you made it to the end of the video, put your favorite takeover in the comments to support your way through, or one that you're interested in because of the video on the list right here. But anyway, that's all. Hope you all enjoyed. Other than that, take it easy, man. Peace.